Welcome back once again to the Imaginary Gallery. TJ here, your host. I thought I would cover a few more parts of the Thomas Sheridan book, Puzzling People, The Labyrinth of the Psychopath, in regards to when a relationship ends with such a creature, whether it's Psychopath or any of the other monsters. Thomas Sheridan brilliantly summarizes this in one of the very first chapters of the book, but he tells us some very important insights, which I couldn't have said them better myself, so I'll let him, we'll say them together. He tells us that when a relationship, which can be a romantic attachment, ends with such a creature, it has the same emotional impact on the target or the victim as losing a loved one through death, which I mentioned in a previous video, but figured we'd expand upon it. You see, these people manipulate the target or victim subconscious parental or romantic desires to become a kind of surrogate child or lover, and then they symbolically die. That is why a breakup with a psychopath feels so different, because also it was planned by them to be that way all along. It happens very quickly, which usually takes the target by surprise, and it's disgusting. Another point he makes is that these creatures always use pity as a tool to ensnare caring, nurturing, and or lonely persons as enablers. Destroying their fake persona results in the psychopath becoming essentially an animated corpse in the eyes of the target, further compounding the horror of the experience. Sheridan tells us that this stirs something very primal in the victims or targets, who feel like this person should be dead, yet this person's being smug, jovial, and alive. What is wrong with this picture? The creature has murdered the fake persona that it invented, yet it's very much a real death to the person that was manipulated. But in the case of this sort of death, there ain't no funeral, there's no grieving ritual, no grave, and nobody who's adequately capable of comforting or supporting the target/victim. In many ways, the abandonment of the persona is almost like a form of self-sacrifice for these creatures, a symbolic death of sorts, but a sacrifice offering the reward of being reborn as a phoenix rises from the flame. One has to wonder if there is more to this than just working a new scam, or if this creature is also attracted to the tabla rasa, which is the blank slate of leaving everything behind, and if there is some exhilaration in the process of this that becomes addictive. Now, personally, Mr. Sheridan believes that these people harvest some kind of emotional energy from their targets/victims. He came to this conclusion after witnessing psychopaths literally lighting up with a strange, effervescent excitability in the aftermath of a win, as though they'd been plugged into some kind of unconscious power source and were instantly recharged by it. And this part I agree with, which I've actually said to a few of these creatures, but he says it has to take some effort to keep one or more fake personas functional for any given length of time. Even the most spectacularly successful creature must find some exertion in this type of experience. Likewise, there also has to be a tremendous sense of relief in their persona self-annihilation. Many people remark that not only do these creatures express neither shame nor guilt when they move on, but they also seem to have the aspect of having some kind of weight lifted off of their shoulders. And this is why, perhaps, these types of creatures may seem giddy and chipper in between their various personas. They have bought themselves some time to recharge their batteries before beginning their new role. The creature may experience the destruction of their previous persona as a form of climax to the performance. Following this, they have the fresh excitement of figuring out new ways to manipulate the next target, and the cycle continues.
I know that I was a crazy maker. That's what y'all call it. I knew what I was doing, and it worked. I know that I spent a lot of time trying to convince you that I really cared about the environment, and I'd say things here and there so it would seem true. But of course, when you discovered later that I've been in trouble with the law on several occasions for unauthorized littering, you just couldn't understand it. I don't blame you. I don't understand it either. Problem was, I'm not that smart. And you with your college brain started analyzing the situation and asking me questions about my littering past, as opposed to what I say today. I just told you, well, I used to litter, but I learned my lesson. I don't litter anymore. I've learned it's wrong. And I thought that would do it, but unfortunately you happen to be nosy and look in the back of my apartment building and you saw all the junk I threw out there just on the street. And you even looked to see my name and address on some of the crap. You've got problems. I am a person who doesn't believe in littering. That was a mistake. Those things you saw on the street, someone stole them. They were in the street? Oh, thanks for telling me where they are. Whatever I could come up with, but you tried to challenge me, and honey, I know you make more money than I do. I know your vagina's deeper than mine, but that doesn't matter to me. I was gonna win at any cost. Now you know what was going on. Maybe things make a little more sense.
Choirs for fags. That's where fags go, but evidently you were there for the chicks, unless they were fags. But I don't know. Doesn't matter. Point was, I knew that you had access to a large family fortune, which meant you was going to have to become mine. Do you recall how I just happened to show up one afternoon after your practice? And I was giving you compliment after compliment, and you ate it up because, quite frankly, I don't think any other chick had ever talked to you like I did. Well, I practiced it with many people, so second nature to me. And then I took control of the situation, but unfortunately, one of my other conquests was coming through, which happened to make a little bit more money than you. So, sorry that I discarded you so quickly, but you'd never understand. Living my life is difficult. I don't have it easy like you, Mr. Silver Spoon.